Aloha. I got my dog coming in, Lightning, fantastic dog. He's my rescue. I wanted to show you real fast the sun. I don't know how this is going to turn out because it just looks like really unusual. Hey, knock it off, you guys. Be good. Nice. They're fighting over my attention, as dogs do. The sun has a bigger aura around it, and it looks just a little bigger to me. If anybody else notices that, let me know. Hey, let me turn this around. This is my, yeah, this is my lovely Lightning. He's my boy, and I got Skippy. Skippy is my boy too. You both are my boys. Hey, they really do try to fight over attention. If you haven't noticed, kids, you got to give both your dogs and animals attention. Don't give it just to one and not the other. Sort of like families. Families, you should give all your children the same amount of attention, not just one. Down the road, they're gonna say, "Mom always," I'm trying to get this. "Mom always liked you best." That's what Bro always said. You know what? When he said that, it was wrong. Well, I think it was. I don't think it was quite correct. We both got the same attention, especially when we got spanked. But that would be another story with the black belt. We grew up on the black belt. Well, we probably deserved it. I don't want to go there right now. That'd be another story. What I wanted to say was the sun. The sun looked a little different for me today, and that's why I was bringing it up. Florida, the Aurora Borealis. Why is Florida seeing the Aurora Borealis? That's supposed to be up in the northern lights. Is Florida now northern? It was May 10th, and October 10th and 11th. They've seen it both days on that time period of 2024. That's why I'm bringing it up. Something's going on. I feel it in my bones. Plus, I knew about, I went to 4 different 4th grades. It took me 10,000 miles to get through 4th grade. I started in New Jersey, came out here to Arizona, went back to New Jersey, then I came back out to Arizona. Then after my 4th grade, I went back to New Jersey. Well, my parents are teachers. They love to teach. And I guess it was New Jersey and Arizona when I was growing up. So but my point being is this. In my 3rd, 4th grade, by the way, in 4th grade, I learned more things than out of all my 20 schools. Yes, 20 schools. Uncle Martin went to 20 schools, and I did graduate. As close as it may be, but that would be another story. We're talking about my New Jersey Triangle School, Hillsborough, New Jersey. It was there that we talked about what might be happening right now. In 1964, I was informed by it was a 45-minute cartoon movie. It was fantastic. Well, actually, there was parts of cartoon, and then there was just scientists talking. All right, but I remember more of the cartoon part. I remember cartoons. It's helped me all my life to realize where I was when we were moving around so much. So we had this movie. The planet Earth was rotating, and we had the north and the south, where these poles of north and south were moving over gradually, very slowly. And when they were moving over slowly, there was other polarities beginning to happen that were smaller. That was in 1964, to where I had to bring in and they were called current events. I don't know if you kids have current events anymore, but it was something that it was important. That's all. And so I had one. I brought in my current event that nobody else had apparently. Found. Mom was great. Mom was a teacher, so she found the best current events all the time, and she saved them. Bless her soul, because that would be another story with the Vikings that she saved on my fourth grade. I'll just try to keep this straight for you guys. Cosmic humor keeps kicking in on this stuff, but it's not. It's kind of funny, if you think about it, because this they called it back then the polar flip. It was a flip, not that we actually flip, but the polarities kind of move to where they're different. The polarities change. So the current event that I brought in was the mastodon, the baby mastodon. He was in Siberia, and he was chewing on grasses and buttercups. And in the mouth, when they found him later on, the scientists said this was 260,000 years ago. Wow. So the mastodon was frozen solid. Maybe some of you out there remember this current event, or it was 1964, so this is when it hit the fan on this information that I remember well, that this buttercups and grasses in this mastodon's mouth, he was frozen solid. In other words, he was frozen solid. And you're saying, well, who cares? Well, in Siberia, back in that time period, Siberia was not as cold as it was. It was a jungle. It was a jungle. So this mastodon in a jungle, that means at least 80 degrees, maybe more, was frozen solid. So how could that possibly happen? So the teacher says, it must be true. The scientists have said it. So as I've looked into this since 1964, which, by the way, this polar flip thing is not. I understand the scientists bring it out every 60 years. And you know what? 64 to 2024, isn't it about 60 years? Because then they throw it under the carpet and bring it up again. But what we find is, if you look back in that time period, their explanation, as I've furthered my intensity on why this could be, there was apparently tornadoes and hurricanes going on that were probably half a state wide, that went up the funnel, how it goes up, and it went up to the stratosphere. And what do you have? You have coming down a tail, and that tail, when it hit the mastodon, bada bing, he was frozen solid. And as I did further research, it wasn't just the baby mastodon, it was also the 10-foot prehistoric sloth, the saber-toothed tiger, and the red ground squirrel. All of them had food in their mouth, frozen solid. I'm just saying, these things happen. It's just something that happens. We don't know about it because our time period of reckoning of what's going on around us is very, very cylindrical. It's not like in thousands or millions of years, like India has written down. We go on more on a 60 to 100 year basis, I guess. That's what it is, isn't it? So if you really look back on, I love Sanskrit and I love the Egyptians stuff, the papyrus stuff that they're finding every day. Nibia, they're putting these little plates together, getting more information. I love this stuff. It's just, I don't know. So what we have here is it's not just happening, well, this time around, it's happening on a slower rate. In the past, by the way, it has happened out of 4 billion years 180 times. How do we know this? How do we know this? The scientists know that there's rocks. This is a pebble, but it's still a rock to them. And they can go into this rock and find these particular rocks that they went into. The crystallizations inside reverse themselves quite a few times, which means that would be a polar action going on when the rocks start showing you this. It's also in the Grand Canyon. Nobody's talking about either, but what it comes down to is basically, not only has this happened in the past, but we have writings in Egypt about it. We have it in China. China has 3 days. 3 days where it was totally sun, noonday sun for 3 days. There was no night. And then we have another time period in India. India has 7 days, total black, no sun at all. And then you go into the Incas. The Incas are fantastic when you start searching into them. The Incas always buried their dead in a fetal position facing sunrise. Well, this particular group that were the oldest that they found they were in the fetal position, but they were not facing east. They were facing west. Isn't that interesting? So I'm just pointing out little facts. Take it or leave it. Things are changing. Has anyone noticed the sun's difference in the way the colors are, the way it's moving? I'd surely like a input from anywhere on this planet, the United States, anywhere you're listening to Uncle Martin. So let me know how you notice this stuff. You know, I'm just curious. Other than that, I got more. I got much more. And Skippy can't wait either. Till then, be well. God victory.